It is Thursday, February 27th, 2020 at 6 p.m. We are at the Pownal Wastewater Treatment Facility. On the agenda tonight is agenda approval, public comment, EU reduction application, the decommission applications, sewer use charges associated with schoolhouse number 8, fiscal year 21 wastewater treatment facility, O&M budget review, chief operator's overview of operations, then adjourn. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as stated?
Motion to approve the agenda.
I would
Second.
ask that we move the operations report to the top. Under agenda approval, if you don't mind, because I think some of the things I'm going to speak about will be reflected in the
Will be covered
budget
in the
yeah.
Alright, I do not have a pen on me, so
I don't either.
thank you, Bob. You might want to disinfect this when I'm done with it.
You can keep that.
That was yours.
That's a fancy pen.
Depends on
You
that
were
point.
coughing, what happened
I
there?
normally do. Alright,
Motion
so
to
I'd like to
approve the
withdraw my
agenda
motion
is-
and make a new motion that we approve the agenda with
As amended.
amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
Alright, there's a motion and a second to approve the agenda with changes as stated. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Alright, so, public comment. Cameraman, you got anything you want to say to us? Alright, no other public comment? Okay, moving on. So, fiscal year 21 O&M budget review?
No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
an
operations
operating
report.
overview, right?
Yeah.
Wastewater operations report.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Okay,
wrong
so,
line. I apologize.
okay, I'm just gonna touch on the things, the big things. Here's 2,000 items that we've covered over the past year, so if you wanna look through them, feel free.
Okay.
But the big items that affect budget and our operations. We have had a great deal of success in working with the new A&R online monthly reporting system, and all of our submitted reports have been deemed complete. So that has been wonderful. We also have had a great deal of success. Oh, let's say that word right. And using the state's new OPRs, it's the wastewater operating license website to renew our wastewater licensures. We have no problems to report there. And I'm sure you're aware that we had an unannounced VOSHA visit inspection in the late summer of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
The inspector was quite happy with his findings, which we were, all was in order. And we had a state inspection just Tuesday here at the wastewater treatment facility. He specifically was targeting our collection system. It's something that they're collecting for EPA data. So he's going to different systems and seeing how are you maintaining your system, what are you doing.
You're taking samples and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, well yes, of course. But he was pleased with how we have a routine maintenance schedule according to the specifications of our operation manuals for each piece of equipment in our inventory. That we have a schedule to replace equipment over time, and that we have a plan for capital expenditures in the future, which is provided to you here on our equipment maintenance. So every year, every time a piece of equipment is updated, it's updated on this equipment list and accounted for. So we're always planning. It keeps us ahead of the game, and instead of putting out fires, we're staying ahead of them. Following up on our new National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit regulations, as they pertain to laboratory requirements, we are on track with all the required work to be performed. This was budgeted for last year in anticipation of the requirements and has been reviewed for inclusion into this year's budget as well. Specifically, the annual constituents testing was performed and submitted. Proficiency testing, which I perform tests on blind samples to ensure that I am performing my daily and monthly tests correctly, completed and passed. In addition, a wet test, which is a whole effluent toxicity test, was performed on our effluent, which we also passed with no issues to report. A second permit required wet test will be performed in February 2021. That has been built into the budget.
Okay.
At our last meeting, we discussed using our sewer camera to inspect a large section of the Green Mountain Mobile Home Park in order to ensure that the pipes were not subject to infiltration. And we did perform the activity over the summer months, and we found the pipe to be in actually pretty good shape. what we did find was an unused connection point that was open to inflow. So we capped it. So we can uncap it in the future, but right now it's secure. And that seems to have made,
Was it from where there used to be a trailer?
it was, and initially they thought they might connect the Green Mountain Park to that area, right? So it's not a valid connection point
Okay.
for that particular use because that pump station simply can't handle any more flow than what it has now. But by capping it, we have noticed a reduction in inflow.
Oh, good.
So yeah, that was a good work to have done. As you know, there are test well sites being installed in a vacant lot in Pownal Center. Okay, I did meet with the parties involved and advise them of the location of our sewer lines. They were planning just to kind of drill right into them. Joel's gonna follow, I met with him this morning, and Joel will follow up with the revised site locations to ensure they are outside of the plowing area. They've basically moved everything to the other side of the road.
Okay.
They also did not realize that Route 7 was a state highway. They thought it was a town highway. So they need to look into that and see if they need to move inside the property. They're working on that. They're going to provide me with an updated map of the final site locations, and of course it'll go to you for final approval before they do any work. And we've also been speaking with engineers working to connect the fire district number 2 to the wastewater system. They are proposing a flushing mechanism on their filters. So I've run that by the engineers, and they say it's pretty standard. It seems okay. I know our station can handle that flow, so I'm not worried about that aspect of it. The problem is, currently they are outside our sewer service area. They were never drawn into the sewer Act 250 sewer service area. But they are doing one of two things. They're gonna work on either an extension of the Act 250 permit to include them, so then I can provide them what they need to actually connect, or they are looking for a waiver from the Act 250. We have to really adhere to this because there are other properties outside the Act 250 area who have wanted to connect, who have been unable to connect. So we really need them to get something on letterhead from the state with one or two options. Either, we do include them in the Act 250, which is what I would prefer, or we do get something from the state in writing so we can have it in our records that they have been provided a waiver and can continue with the wastewater application. So that's what I have for the big items. Go ahead.
As far as the water system, what are they wanting to discharge into our,
It's backwash.
right,
So
backwash from the filters?
Right.
So their filters are supposed to be taking out the PFOA.
And holding it.
Right, so if you're back flushing those, that's breaking that up and it's coming down.
That's
Oh, are
not what the letter says, and I'll share that with you. I don't
I
have
guess
that in
that's-
front of me.
That's what I mean, because if you back flush this out,
Well, that was my
you're discharging all the, so,
That was my thought as well, which is why I ran it by the engineers, and they said no. Basically, the filters hold what's there, and the flush water is then clean, but it's been flushed, and then it goes into the wastewater system. I got the okay. I was as skeptical as you on that. I was given the okay from the engineers on that, but again, it's a moot point right now because they're not allowed to even start with the wastewater process. And if they do get the Act 250 either waiver or extension of the permit, they still have to go through the wastewater application process. And in my mind, I've already thought ahead of, we want their testing, we want their flows, we want a flow meter, we want to make sure that they're only discharging what they say they're discharging. If there are any adverse effects on the wastewater treatment facility or anything noticeable, that they will stop discharging. We will make sure that we're protected and that we will have provisions written in any permit that they are issued in regards to that. So I'm on the same page with you with thinking ahead, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else for a cheap operations overview?
That's pretty much the big stuff.
Okay. All right. So EU reduction application.
Yeah, so the EU reduction application was complete, the fees were submitted, it's an apartment, it's never been used. They've basically been paying for it for over a decade, and they're just to the point where they are in their life where they are not going to finish the apartment and rent it out. So
They want to save the money.
they just want to save the money at this point in their life. So very simple.
So drop a connection fee, basically.
So I would just need for you to approve of the EUC reduction.
Does that require a motion?
I believe so.
Yeah, 346.72. That would be the parcel ID.
346. All right. I make a motion that we approve the EU reduction for 346.72 parcel.
I'll second that.
All right. There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. All right. Decommission applications?
Yeah, so we have 2 decommission applications. Those are permanent decommissions, which is a permanent cutoff. This is a unique situation in that it is a mobile home park. In this situation, for whatever reason that I was not involved in, they decided to have the town construct the lines onto these 2 parcels, but they never actually brought the line up. I think it's if I had to suppose, I would think it was because they weren't sure where they were gonna locate those homes, and they wanted the flexibility and extending the pipe if they wanted to. So having said that, they're basically easy decommissions. They are both in Royal Pine Villa. They are identified on the applications as, I got my readers, 42 and 52. And the applications are complete and the correct fees have been submitted. So I would recommend that you allow the decommissions for these 2 sites.
42 and 52?
42 and 52. That will be made part of permanent record, and I will make that part of, all 3 of these will be made part of our master log of equivalent users, which then goes to Linda, and then goes to our listers, so that we're all on the same page with records.
Okay.
We're only allowed 3 per year, so this is it,
So
for
when you say,
2020.
and that means that, so this is the third.
Right.
um,
Which is unusual, because we've never had 3 in 1 year and 2 months, so, yeah.
And that July 1st is when the new year starts for this as well?
No,
or not?
this is based on a year.
Calendar year.
Yeah, calendar year.
So,
Yep.
okay, so we won't be able to do any more until
Correct,
December, or
Till-
January 1st, 2021?
correct. And it is first come, first serve, so,
I motion we allow decommission applications or approve the decommission applications as listed.
Second it.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Motion carries. All right. So sewer use charges associated with schoolhouse number 8.
I'm not sure I'm not sure if I'm taking the lead on this one. If this would be something that Linda probably
This is an agenda item that I added.
Great.
Okay, I'm referring to the schoolhouse.
Okay.
Number 8, the school, we just took ownership of this property. Sewer bills run with the land, they run with the property owner. This particular building is what they term an unlanded building.
Mm-hmm.
The property owner, the bill has been continuously going in the property owner's name, care of the Historic Society. Before it was care of the school district.
Yep.
Okay, it has accumulated fees to date of $380.07. What needs to happen with this bill is for the town of Pownal to assume the sewer use fee, okay?
Mhm.
What needs to happen in the future is a decommission at that site.
Okay.
That cannot happen this year
Mhm.
because of, our
Mhm.
ordinances. But that needs to happen in the future, so that this bill, so that that goes away because the building is going to go.
Right.
Okay? When the building gets moved to its new location and gets joined with the new construction,
Mhm.
how many EUs do you think our town office will be adding to our system?
Well,
Or
right
do
now,
you
right,
have any idea?
yeah, put me on the spot. No, right now, I think it's one. I think you're at one. We judge
You're at one.
on office personnel and how many people will be in it. So I think what we'll have to do is reevaluate with the new space, how many people will actually be in there on a daily basis and judge from that point. But it is only 12 gallons, I think. Well, there's new regulations for February 2019. Yeah, but we can work on that. It won't be more than 2, I would not assume.
Okay, that's what I was, and have you, been reviewing the application that will go with the addition of the EUs for the new town hall?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, this packet is for you.
All right.
This packet also has been given to
Pauline,
Pauline,
well, this is part of what you gave me yesterday, but I haven't
could be.
looked through everything yet.
Okay, I need you to review that and,
If you need any help or assistance, just let me know. I mean,
Call you on-
right, no, don't do that.
So because we know this, because we're already past our 3, this is gonna be first on the list.
On the first on the list, if
first
you
on the list.
For
just send that
January
in
one.
January 1st and
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
done, and that'll be done for the next. So what happens is we don't prorate, it would just be too difficult. So if anything is approved, like it's February now, January, February, March is a quarter. So it will be effective the next quarter, the
Okay.
building. But it's important that you would get it in on January 1st, because obviously we had 3 that came in, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Then we're already done for the year.
So you will be effective for the next quarter
Okay.
if you do get that
So
in.
if we put them in early, they don't just queue up?
They don't stay.
I'm
Can't
sorry.
be
They
thinking
don't
ahead.
just queue up if you put it, if you were to put, if somebody applied today, would it just be in the queue for January?
I haven't had that discussion before because, like I said previously, this is the first
never
time you
happened.
know. Right, right.
Okay.
I think if she put it on her calendar for January 1st.
Or
Then it
if
would
the
take
board
it,
decided that a queue method was advisable
I
and
prefer to not
acceptable.
micromanage your
Yeah,
department.
no,
You seem to be doing a
I
really
was
good
just
job
wondering how
down
it
there.
works.
Oh, I just,
I trust.
I have faith in my department
Yes.
heads to run your
Yeah.
department.
Me
Thank
too.
you, thank you,
Me too.
appreciate that.
If there's ever a need for us to step in and micromanage, then the board will do so, but I don't
Oh,
foresee
yeah,
that
no,
right now.
Thank you.
So you got that for January, right?
now, do we have to do something with half of that, or it's just,
Well, this portion is for the connection for the new
For the
Okay.
new.
building.
And I think for the bill, we're gonna have to authorize that the town pay it,
right?
so. Alright, so if I do this correctly, let me see, I make a motion that we pay the existing sewer bill and cover the sewer bills going forward until we can get it decommissioned.
I'll second it.
Alright, there's a motion and a second, is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, or,
And just to
Anyways.
reiterate, we're talking about $380.
Right.
Yeah.
that's the back bill so
300,
far.
yeah.
That's the back bill so far, and so at the end of the year, it might be for 50 or 500.
Yeah, it's just a one connection, so what's that, $100 a quarter?
It's $497 per year right now, but we will probably have a rate increase due to income increases if you do decide to give raises. And jumping right into the next line item, we do need a new radiator in our main generator. It is got a slow leak. We need it to run. We don't want to incur any fees for not having it run. Yeah, so, but right now, the advisement is if we could do it in July, we would be okay from the people who do,
Who do you
Yeah.
service it?
you do, yeah, Kinsley does our servicing, and they're pretty good.
It can wait until July, you
It
don't
can
need to have
wait
it
till
done sooner?
July, yes, I'm confident it can wait till
Okay.
July, and I budgeted in for
Give me a second.
next fiscal
Yeah,
year.
I want you to sign
What's the
it up
state,
here and date
if that were to fail, how much time are we allotted to get a temporary unit on site?
Well, they
Why
can
say
have a temporary unit here in
Wait, that's my-
an hour, but I actually have handwritten notes of, not handwritten, typed instructions, let me clarify on that, of each and every operational protocol that needs to be done at each time frame, like literally every 15 minutes,
Mhm.
if we needed to be on site to make sure that the plant continues to run. So even if it took 2 hours, we're still okay.
Okay.
So, but it's something that needs to be addressed.
So do you need a special motion to authorize that repair then? Or are you just letting us know about it?
Yeah, I think I built it into the budget. It is on, the description of the items for replacement. And I don't expect you to look at this budget tonight and go, well, I have like 5 questions. You're just seeing it for the first time. What I would ask you to do is go home, look at the item list, look at the budget. If you have any questions, call me, email me, come and see me, and I will be happy to address them. We don't approve our budget until the end of March, and we might tweak. I mean, Linda, I, and Ellen might go, gee whiz, maybe we should revisit that line item. But we feel it's important that you are exposed to the plan in February, so that gives us weeks to really review it, gives you weeks to review it and really evaluate it and give us some feedback if needed.
What's the deadline for approving?
End of March.
End of March, oh,
Yeah,
end of March,
end of March, that'll be a
So the
March
new
meeting,
board will be dealing with it?
yeah.
So you just do
which
it now?
should be perfect.
No.
Okay. Thank you for being so organized and having everything just,
Oh,
seriously.
you're welcome.
It's nice,
Yeah, it really is.
it's nice to be able.
I mean, everybody has, but I'm just like,
It
it's a lot.
has to be, I think. You've got multi-million-dollar equipment that you're dealing with,
And you know what you're talking about.
That's a standalone unit with a, that's fuel mounted underneath it. Yeah. I don't know how old it is, but they're known to have fuel gasket issue
and we've done
on the
those.
pumps, so.
Yeah,
So is this
yeah,
your proposed
we
rate
had-
also?
Let me tell you, we have them
$1 per
serviced
U
twice a
per
year.
month?
Yeah,
So
maybe
we've
$12 a year.
lost block
Okay.
heaters,
That's
we've
reasonable.
done seals, we've done, I mean, we have done all of the small
Discussion
things.
about that.
But
Well, there was
You know,
discussion last
if it
time
hasn't
about
happened, I'd
making
let
it
you know
a
that
standing,
that's
a standing
No
percent rate increase
issue
every
with
year.
it.
That way people could anticipate what it was gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
and you could
Yeah.
better forecast your budget.
True, we had
Sorry.
that conversation again.
I'm sorry, I was having a single discussion here.
Alright.
We're retouching on the fact that we had discussed about trying to increase incrementally instead of
Yes.
taking a hard hit.
Yes, we feel like if we increase incrementally every year, then it's not so difficult on the users.
Right.
Well, and like I said, this is still in draft form, but it's $1 a month.
Right.
So if you put that in perspective of what you spend and the service you get,
Yeah.
and.
And this is just for the users. This isn't across the board for all the taxpayers.
Correct, that's just for the users. And I said even to the state inspector, it's very important for me that my board don't get complaints. Like if someone calls and they have a problem, we are there. If
Right.
it's Christmas, we're there. If a station's down on Thanksgiving, we're there. I mean, if it's 20 below and it's 2 a.m., we're there on the ground, literally taking care of the problem. So
Thank you.
I think
for
that's what we've have always strived for, and to make everything keep looking new. You know, that's a,
Well, you're doing a good job so far.
Yeah, it's a girl thing.
It's clean, it's easier to take its spot when there's an issue.
You got it.
Yep.
That's all I have. I'm not sure if anyone else has anything to add.
Yeah,
I don't. Does anybody have any questions?
add my appreciation of your professionalism and your detail and your preciseness. This is really outstanding.
Thank you very, very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for everything, seriously.
I've been blessed with a good board, so.
This is your last
I know,
meeting.
this is my
This might be my last meeting.
It's not gonna be, Brian.
Can't
I'm just scanning down through, I'm
Sure.
looking. Do you have a separate line item for security cameras? Or is that just,
It's just under equipment. That fax machine is not behaving.
I don't know if this is appropriate to bring up, but I know we had issues over the last year with vandalism down here and other issues that went on. Did you want to discuss or make recommendations on added
Since-
security or cameras or anything?
I'll be honest, since we put the gate back up, people respect it.
Okay.
That's good.
I have not had one ripped lawn, no garbage, no needles, no, I mean, the people that were using it before we took the gate down are back. We got our fishermen back and our dog walkers back and the people that know that it's safe.
Right.
Mhm.
And they feel confident in coming and using it. So
It's a big.
Good.
I feel
So the
good
system-
about where we're
That's
at
working.
again. Yeah, I don't,
And
That's
you're
good to hear.
comfortable and everything?
comfortable,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Alright, I'm fine with that then. Alright, well, if there's no further discussion, I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
Alright, there's a motion, a second to adjourn, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Alright, peace out, people.